Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and why Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition would be mislabeled. What would be the reason somebody would mislabel a product like Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition? All right, so first of all, let's get this out of the way. I think Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition is a massively mislabeled product. I don't think it's a game, right? Personally, I think Dungeons and Dragons is a life catalyst that can be that a person can choose to use to make themselves a much better person. Okay, I know for a fact a lot of people use Dungeons and Dragons for different reasons, right? Some of them use it just as an excuse to hang out with their friends, right? Some of them use it for therapy. Some people use Dungeons and Dragons for therapy. Not a joke. Not a good idea. I'm not saying that anybody should do that, but I know for a fact it's done. There's no two ways about it, right? Some people use it as a tactical war game, right? Some people use it because they're frustrated thespians, right? Like there's just so many uses for this product, right? For this thing. And it's really fascinating, all the different purposes it can have. So why would someone mislabel a product? Well, I'm going to bring you wisdom from the show Kenan, right? Which I have learned, which I think really shines an important light on why someone would choose to mislabel a product, which I think is exactly what's been done by the D&D community. I don't think Hasbro ever mislabeled Dungeons and Dragons. I think the Dungeons and Dragons community mislabeled Dungeons and Dragons. Okay? I want to make that clear. All right. So, why would a product be horribly mislabeled? And this has been a mystery to me for Dungeons and Dragons, but my understanding has been transformed recently by a show named Kenan. All right, so let's talk about Kenan. Kenan is a brand new show. It came out this year in 2021. It stars Kenan Thompson, and it is labeled as a sitcom. It is not by any remote standard an actual sitcom, okay? I've watched 6 episodes of it, and I have never once laughed, right? In the first show, I was like, this is so terrible. I do not want to watch this anymore. I don't like anything about this show, right? But I like Kenan Thompson, so I'm going to give it some time. I'm going to let this thing play out, right? At minimum, I'll just watch the show that wrecked and destroyed and finished Kenan Thompson's career, right? So what I found, so I kept watching this thing, and what I realized is this is not a sitcom. It is specifically a Sharo. It is a show about sorrow. There's a bunch of them now, okay? Firefly Lane was a Sharo. This Is Us is a Sharo. Kenan is a Sharo. It's a show that hits the viewer with wave upon wave upon wave of sorrow. Kenan is about Kenan, a father who has 2 young daughters, and the mom dies. The whole show is about the grief over a dead mom. Now, why would you mislabel a show about grief over a dead mom as a sitcom? Well, there's a really good reason, right? The reason is, can you imagine going to, I think it's NBC that has this thing. Can you imagine being a writer and going to NBC and saying, listen to this, a show about a dead mom and a family grieving over a dead mom. You guys ready to get your checkbook out? You know what NBC say is like, next, you're out of here. Let anybody who's next. Ain't nobody gonna buy that thing, right? Like, who wants to watch a show about a dead mom? Like, it's terrible. Like, it's I like mothers. Like, I like my mother. I like the woman who was the mother to my children. Like, mothers are nice people. Who on earth wants to watch a show about a dead mom, right? Like, it's a terrible idea, right? Like, and not just a dead mom, like any dead spouse, any dead parent. This is a horrible idea. No one wants to watch this, right? But that's why you mislabel it. The writer, I have no idea who wrote this thing. I ain't going to look it up because I don't want to besmirch them, right? Like, but whoever did this was clearly passionate about telling a story about, a dead parent. And I'm like, I do not want to watch this, right? Like, it's just terrible. But they got me with Kenan. Kenan Thompson is an incredibly compelling actor, and I really like everything he's ever been in. I like Good Burger. I like SNL. And frankly, I like Keenan, right? Like, because I like watching Keenan in this. I would definitely like watching Keenan in anything other than this, but this is the show he's in right now, right? So, like, here we are, right? So, and the other thing is, this thing was very carefully, tactically mislabeled, right? It's a show mislabeled as a sitcom, right? So what was the benefit? This writer, who was passionate about a concept that they knew no one on the planet would want to watch, is now getting to share the story they wanted to share by tricking people into watching it, right? So it's clickbait at the highest level. It's like clickbait is high art, right? Like, and so there are reasons why people mislabel products. So why did the D&D community mislabel Dungeons and Dragons as a game? Here's why. There's lots of reasons, right? And I think there are multiple reasons, not lots, multiple. Number one reason, it's comfortable, right? If you really think about what Dungeons and Dragons is, how massive its impact has been on American culture since 1974, in very positive and in some strangely negative ways, right? And in some neutral ways, it's staggering, right? Like, I honestly think that the video game industry would not be what it is without Dungeons and Dragons. The Tolkien's legend, like, has been multiplied significantly by this, and the Tolkien books massively impacted massively impacted the movie industry, which massively impacts American culture. The impact that Dungeons and Dragons has had since 1974 is immense, and it has only grown more intense with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. So the D&D community labels it as a game so that they are one, because it's comfortable for them. Why is it comfortable? Because they're not challenged, right? If you fully understand what Dungeons and Dragons is, you have responsibilities as a player, you have responsibilities as a dungeon master, especially if you understand that it's more than a game, right? And the reality is, the more you unpack exactly what Dungeons and Dragons is, the more your responsibilities grow, right? And one of the things that I've really, really taken to heart is Dungeons and Dragons has told me, you must explore, you must interact, you must combat your own deficiencies, right? You must interact with people more than you want to, right? Because, I'm kind of a solitary guy, and I realized, when I read the 3 pillars of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, I'm like, I can't just, stay in my own head. I can't just even spend time with just my family. I need to interact with my society, my locality, right? My proximity, my region, my realm, right? Exploration. I'm not allowed to just sit around. I can't spend 8 hours playing a video game. I need to explore Philadelphia, the city I'm near, right? I need to explore my world, right? Both in virtual and very physical ways, right? And, like, when you really think about Dungeons and Dragons, it challenges you. It challenges you, right? So there are very real reasons why the D&D community has massively mislabeled Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons is not a game. I believe that Dungeons and Dragons it's a container that we are still unpacking, and I don't really think it will be unpacked even within a single century from its birth, right? It is, if you think Dungeons and Dragons is a game, you're not paying attention, right? And even more than that, you're getting rooked, right? Like, and it happens. I got rooked by Keenan. I'm watching that show. I'm going to finish it, right? Trust me, I had no intentions of watching a show about a dead parent. I'm stuck, right? But, so just be careful about, things being mislabeled. Understand what something is, and then you can interact with it in the right way. That's my opinion. What's your opinion? Do you agree that Dungeons & Dragons is fundamentally more than a game? And if so, what do you think it really is? What do you think Dungeons & Dragons calls Americans to? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comment below. And also, why do you think the D&D community did this? Why do you think the D&D community mislabeled D&D 5e. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.